Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Amsterdam Live Show. I am your host George, and today I have three special guests for you. Give a warm applause for NOS reporter and specialist in cultures, Nastasia. Another applause for international businessman, Riwan. And last but not least, rapper Lil Jamal. So, in today's episode, we will be talking about cultures. Our NOS reporter Nassi interviewed people with different backgrounds and talked about how they felt here in the Netherlands. Let's start with you, Riwan. How are you experiencing your time in Amsterdam?
Well, it was a very tough process. I have to admit, when I first came here, it took me a while to kind of, get into this society. It's very hard.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the level of English, I was surprised. Amsterdam is a very international city.
Yeah, it's a touristic place too.
Exactly,
So yeah.
So, in general, I think right now after 4 or 5 years, I'm starting to feel like I'm
The Dutch
part of society. Yeah.
All right. And how did you experience Amsterdam as a businessman? Because those are two different worlds, of course.
Different worlds, yeah. Well, as a businessman, it's different. The workplace is very professional amongst the Dutch people. They take work very seriously, and friends and workplace are two different areas. They don't go along with each other.
All right. And in what way do you see a difference compared to other countries?
Well, where I come from is workplace and friends are basically one thing. It's like you hang out with your colleagues. You develop a stronger bond with them.
Yeah.
And here it's just a little bit more cold. That's it. Yeah.
All right. And Lil Jamal, you came to the Netherlands about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
All the way from Eritrea.
Yes.
How did you experience the Dutch people behaving towards you?
Well, for me it was hard to integrate in the Dutch society when I came here because nobody really welcomed me and tried to talk to me. I also didn't speak Dutch yet, so it was really hard. So I ended up being friends with other Eritreans. We also came to the Netherlands and also
Other foreigners, probably.
Yes, also other foreign friends that just came here and were in the same situation as me. So in the beginning I didn't really integrate to the Dutch society yet. And just when I started my rap career, I started to work with Dutch producers and also started to sign with a Dutch label. So I started to work with Dutch people, and after we made some dope tracks, we started to hang out. So I started to integrate more to the Dutch society.
All right.
There's actually an index that shows us where someone is in integration process, and we can take a look at the acculturation of Riwan and Lil Jamal. We see that they're both fully integrated now after a lot of years, and they find themselves in the final stage of acculturation. This process of integrating is a long one, and it takes a lot of time and it needs dedication, but you did it and you didn't give up.
So, guys, how come that even though it took such a long time to integrate, you still managed to do it and not give up?
Well, I value to be a part of a group a lot, and also in Eritrea I had a really group friends I was very close with, and when I came to the Netherlands I missed that, so I really also want to be part of a group. So I tried really hard to integrate, started to learn Dutch really fast, and after a while it worked out.
So you put a lot of effort in
I
it.
put a lot of effort in it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with them. For me it was also really work related, but I would like to be part of a group, and if they can both be together, workplace and belonging to a group, it would be amazing, and that's kind of what's happening right now.
All right.
It's actually something that is well known across professionals and cultures. Riwan and Lil Jamal, they experience both. They need the group value and attachment, and they're both really collectivistic.
All right. So we can see that integrating is something that differs from a lot of people. Nasi, you also interviewed people about this, right?
Yes, I asked a couple of questions to 50 people who were born here and grew up here, just have a different background. And I asked 50 people who moved here a few years ago, who grew up in different countries.
All right, we have some footage of these interviews. Let's take a look at it. How old are you?
I'm 18 years old,
What is your gender?
male.
And your background?
My parents are from Afghanistan and I was born in the Netherlands
For how long do you live in the Netherlands now?
for as long as I live.
What is your native country?
Afghanistan.
Do you feel more Dutch or more like your native country?
Both. I also feel more Dutch because all my friends are Dutch and they speak Dutch. But I also share the culture of my parents with the adults.
Okay, so you have a lot of Dutch friends, but do you also have a lot of foreign friends?
Yes, I have both, as I said.
Okay.
But more Dutch.
Do you feel at home in the Netherlands?
Yes, as far as. Yeah.
Do you feel welcome in the Netherlands?
Yes, also. I also feel welcome.
Would you like to live in your native country?
No, I grew up here and I'm too used to this.
Would you describe yourself as open-minded?
Well, yeah, I guess, because I could see things from two perspectives.
And the Dutch people, are they open-minded?
Not all of them. I think some are just afraid of diversity and seeing something different or new.
Okay. How do Dutch people behave towards you?
Towards me, they behave nice and kind. I've never experienced something different, but on TV you see all type of racism and statements like Geert Wilders, for example.
All
That
right.
upsets me.
Thank you for the interview.
Yes, you're welcome.
Hello, sir. Can I ask you some questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes. How old are you?
18.
And what is your background?
I'm from Eritrea.
Yeah. Oh, you're from Eritrea.
Yes.
Okay. And for how long do you live now in the Netherlands?
I'm born in the Netherlands.
Oh,
18
so you
years.
lived your whole life over here. Okay.
Yes.
And your native country is Eritrea.
Yes.
Okay. And do you feel more Dutch or more like or not Dutch or more
Dutch.
Eritrea?
Dutch.
More Dutch.
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a lot of Dutch friends?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
do you also have a lot of foreign friends? Maybe from Eritrea or something
I
else?
have more foreign friends than
More
Dutch
foreign
friends.
friends, okay. And do you feel home in the Netherlands?
Yes.
And also welcome by the native Dutch people?
Mostly yes. Sometimes. Sometimes not.
And sometimes not because...
Like once in a while.
Okay, and do you describe yourself as open-minded?
Yes.
And do you describe the native Dutch people as open-minded?
Yes.
And how do Dutch people behave to you?
Depends. Most of the time, I realize they like making fun of my color.
Okay.
They like the jokes. Like it's not like they're racist, but they just like jokes. But most of the time, they are normal to me.
Okay, so sometimes you feel they have not a lot of empathy to you, how you feel to certain
Yes.
things they
don't
say to
think
you.
about it that much. Like I don't really care, but I understand if someone do care, and they make jokes about them, that he can be mad.
Okay. Okay, that were the questions. Thank you very much.
So about 87% of the people I interviewed who have another background but grew up here told me they feel quite comfortable living here because it was part of their home education. They grew up here completely. They didn't have to integrate really. Because for kids it's really easy to find connections. You don't care about how someone looks like, where he comes from, or where his parents come from, or if he speaks a second language. Kids just don't care about it. And that's how they didn't really have to integrate. And the other 13%, they don't have a problem with the Netherlands. They just fancy living in the countries where their parents come from because they think it's better for a living. In regard to more open-minded people, kinder people in comparison to Dutch people.
And we also have some footage of an interview from someone who came to live in the Netherlands. Let's take a look at that.
How old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
What is your gender?
I'm a girl. I'm a woman.
What is your background?
My background, well, I got Indonesian roots, but I grew up in Spain
For how long do you live now in the Netherlands?
for about 3 years now.
Um, what is your native country?
My native country is Spain, I would say.
Do you feel more Dutch or more like your native nationality?
I feel more Spanish than
Yeah.
Dutch.
Do you have a lot of Dutch friends?
I would say here in the Netherlands, I have way more international friends than Dutch friends. I almost don't have any Dutch friends. They're all from different countries.
Do you have a lot of foreign friends?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel home in the Netherlands?
I do, but I'm still homesick of Spain because of the weather and the coldness of this country.
Do you feel welcome in the Netherlands?
If I feel welcome, yeah, I do. I do.
Would you like to live again in your native country? Go back?
I mean, I left there for a reason, for economical and academic reasons, which I think are really good here in the Netherlands. So I wouldn't go back, only for holidays.
Yeah. Would you describe yourself as open-minded? Would you describe the Dutch people as open-minded?
Open-minded, yes, but maybe not that open-hearted.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. How do Dutch people behave towards you?
Just like any other person, I would say I never got discriminated or anything like that. Just normal, but I am used to like a warmer attitude because I'm from Spain, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's like they're cool. They're just cool people here. That's the thing, but yeah, I feel welcome. It's a good country, can't deny that.
Alright. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How old are you?
I am 22 years old.
And what is your gender?
I am a female.
What is your background?
So I am half American, half Dutch, but I grew up on an American military base in Germany, so I lived in Germany for all of my life.
And for how long do you live now in the Netherlands?
Since 2013, so that's 4.5 years now.
Do you feel more Dutch or more like your native nationality?
That is difficult to say. I believe when I'm here, I feel more like my American side, and when I'm in the States, I feel more Dutch.
Do you have a lot of Dutch friends?
I would say so, yeah. Not majority, but yeah.
So you also have a lot of foreign friends.
That's true. It's about 50-50, I would say.
Okay. Do you feel at home in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I can say so.
Would you like to live again maybe in the USA?
I also see myself living in the USA, yeah, or going back.
Would you describe yourself as open-minded?
Yeah, I think I'm an open-minded person at times.
And would you describe the Dutch people as open-minded?
I believe there are two different types of Dutch people. Most of them, yeah, I say they have a very open-minded personality in general.
And how do Dutch people behave towards you?
When I speak the language, they behave very welcoming, very open to me. When I speak English, they treat me a bit different, like I'm a foreigner.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
76% of the immigrants that came to live into the Netherlands shared the same opinion. They all said Dutch people can be nice and open-minded, but it's the word can that bothers me here. Most of them experienced the same situation as Rival and Jamal. It took them a long time to find people they could connect to because Dutch people rather stick with their own native language, even though internationals are around them.
But what could be the reason of this outcome? Because do you think it has to do with the Dutch people or with the foreigners that act towards the Dutch people?
I think it's a mix of both. I think the foreign people are sometimes acting shy at the beginning because they don't know anybody and don't speak the language. But on the other hand, I think it will be nice if you know someone is new, you will welcome him and talk to him and show that you're open. Because when I came to the Netherlands, I was also a little bit shy and nobody really talked to me, and after the feeding they were making fun of me. Well, they don't even know me, so at the feeding at the beginning they were also stereotyping me.
Well, that's actually right. However, it has to do with prejudices and not with stereotyping. stereotyping, you're aware about what you say and what you do to other people. When you have prejudices, it goes without thinking. It just happens. That's actually where the problem lies. Because of these prejudices, we don't look at someone the way we should, and these prejudices will undermine integration because it may scare off people.
And what if the foreigners or international people try to be open-minded themselves and confront the other people?
Well, some of the people I interviewed actually did that by, they say they didn't help, and sure, for the moment, when you ask someone something in English, they'll answer in English, but directly when you stop asking questions or something, they'll stop talking English too. They just stick again with their native language. And I think this can be dangerous in two ways. First, what might be discussed in the group could also be interesting to the foreigner, and with him not understanding this, the work result could suffer.
Yeah.
And second, people with less strong personalities could perish if they get constantly treated like this. Group attachment is a very big point here, since humans have the need to be part of a group. And if a foreigner, because of this, can't find any group he belongs to, then he could become depressed.
So the problem here is actually that mostly in international environments, not everyone is talking English, which is weird because that is what makes it international, right?
Yes, and in order to fix this problem of lack of integration, we should all try our best. Make sure everyone is talking English if there are international people around us, if we are in an international environment, and make sure that foreigners are more open-minded and talk to people easily.
All right.
Yes, I mean, I noticed that also in my integration process. I mean, you really have to push yourself into becoming part of the society, and also try to push, the Dutch environment to open themselves up to you.
So it has to come from two sides.
From both of us.
Okay,
Yeah, from
all
both
right, yeah.
sides, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I share that opinion, man.
Yeah, I share that too. Unfortunately, some of my interviews already gave up on integrating, and they just hang around with other internationals. Luckily, the rate of these people is very low. It's just something under 20%. But besides that, 60% of my interviews from the people whose origin is another country, they already told me that they know they're gonna move back to either their native country or move somewhere else. They don't plan on staying here for a longer time, just till they finish like their working contract or their studies or something.
And well, that's a pity, of course. 60% is a lot, and before you know it, Holland is not known for its cultural diversity anymore. That's something we don't want to happen.
No, man.
Yeah, if we take a look at the acculturation process again, we see that these groups of people are stuck in the acceptance stage, which is a drag because it's not hard to get from this stage to the adaptation stage.
All right, and how is it for you, Riwan? Since you're fully integrated, are you planning on leaving, or do you want to stay in this country?
Well, I mean, I work international, so I don't know where my job might take me, But I think that moving into another country is also going to take some time, It's a process which...
All right, and what about you, Lil Jamal?
I'm staying over here. Now I'm finally fully integrated, and I've made some new friends. It's better for me to stay here, and I'm really happy over here, man.
All right, well, that's nice to hear. So in short, integration takes a long time here with both the attitudes of the foreigners but also of the Dutch people. If we want to solve this problem, we should make sure that it's easier for the foreigners to attach to a group, like Lil Jamal said. And we can do this by being more open and try to talk English as Dutch people. And as for the foreigners goes, they should try to be more open-minded and make sure that the effort comes from both sides. Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure, man. You talked.
Then this was today's episode of Amsterdam Live Show. I will wish you a very happy evening and see you guys tomorrow.